Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss thermometry. Thermometry. So metry means usually what we can say is measurement. So measurement of temperature. Thermometry means measurement of temperature. So how we can measure temperature is start chena. Okay, measurement of temperature. So how we can measure temperature? How we can say body is hot, how a body is cold means by touch, our sensation of touch. Suppose if we put hand on ice, we feel cold. If we put hand on hot water, we feel hot. So our sense of touch is, we can say temperature. We can say it is cold body, it is a hot body. That means we can say degree. What we can say is degree of hotness by our touch, our sense of touch. But our sense of touch is not reliable, because why it is not reliable? We have some small experiment like this. Suppose if we take 3 beakers of water, in each one of which contains ice, it contains hot water, it contains ordinary water. Take 3 vessels A, B, C. In A we took ice, in B ordinary water, in C hot water. Suppose I put my hand, suppose I put my left hand, one hand in this position and one hand in this hot water. So I put my 2 hands, one in ice and one in hot water. Now if I remove this after certain time, I remove those 2 hands, remove my hands and put in ordinary water. Both the hands are put in this water, in ordinary water. How I can feel is, the hand which I took from ice, the sensation appears to be, this water appears to be hot. For the hand which is from this hot water, the sense of which is, it is cold. That means same ordinary water, for one hand it appears to be hot, for one hand it appears to be cold. So our hand touch is not reliable. That's why an instrument is required to measure the temperature, and that instrument is called thermometer. Now, so the measuring instrument of temperature is called thermometer. So thermometer is an instrument used to measure the temperature of a body or system. Now how this thermometer works? So already we have discussed in the last class that on heating body, what are the effects of heating is, the heating body, there is a change in its length or dimensions. That means the body expands. Okay, so based on that we can measure the temperature of the body. That means depending on the heating, of the effects of heating, we use that, the effects of heating, to measure the temperature. That means the expansion of the bodies are used to measure the temperature. And second one is, already we have discussed in that case, the electrical properties of the bodies changes. That means if we use the resistance changes, that means heating the body, its resistance changes. So based on that we can measure the temperature of the body. That means on heating, if a body at high temperature possesses certain resistance and low temperature, its resistance may change. Now change in temperature is measured with the change in resistance. That is called resistance thermometer. That means a thermometer which works on the changes in the resistance of the body with respect to the changes in temperature, that is called resistance thermometers. And not only that, the light emitted by a hot body, by using the light emitted by the hot body, if you measure the temperature of the body, then that is called pyrometer. That means pyro means very high temperature. And that means these are used to measure very high temperatures, about 5000 to 6000 degrees centigrade. Okay. Usually the temperature of the sun is measured using this pyrometer. That means by this pyrometric calculations. And next one is thermoelectric measurements. Thermocurrent or thermocouple. That means already we have discussed about thermocouple and thermoelectric effect. That is, if two junctions of two dissimilar metals are maintained at two different temperatures, EMF is induced. So, if we measure the difference, if we calibrate the EMF with respect to the temperature, that means we calculate the EMF as the changes in temperature. So, in that way we measure the temperature, then that is called thermoelectric method. So, these are the different properties, different types in which we can measure the temperature of the body. Now, in which we consider that expanding of bodies, expansion of the bodies. Now, heating a body, temperature changes and the body expands. That means either increases in length, increase in area, increase in volume. So, based on that increase in their dimensions, we measure the increase in temperature. So, usually we have three states of matter as solids, liquids, gases. So, all these three forms of state expand on heating a body. Okay, expanding means if we heat a body means its temperature increases. So, the solids possess low expansion. That means the expansion of solids is very, very small. That means, and the expansion of gases is high. And that of liquids is fair. Okay. Now to see. That means solids expand very small on heating bodies, means so that the solids are used as thermometric material for measuring very high temperatures. That means on heating very high, on very high temperatures, the expansion is calculated. We can calculate the. That means these solids are used to measure very high temperatures because they possess low expansion. That means they possess high expansion at high temperatures. So we can measure these solids used as measuring high temperatures. Whereas gases, very high, very small change in temperature, they expand more. So these are used to measure very small temperature differences. That means very small temperature difference, we can get appreciable change in their volumes. So that's why these gases are preferred in measuring very low temperatures. Whereas liquids has fair changes, fair expansion over a wide range of temperatures. So, fair expansion over a wide range and a uniform over this wide range. That means for every 1 degree rise in temperature, the expansion is same, that means uniform over a wide range of temperatures. That's why these liquid thermometers are preferred for ordinary temperatures. Okay. So, okay. These solids, that means solids are used as thermometric material in case of to measure high temperatures. To measure very low temperatures, we use gases, thermometric material. And for fair ordinary temperatures, we use liquids as thermometric material. Now, in this liquids, in this liquid thermometers, we prefer mercury. In liquid thermometers, mercury is used as thermometric material. Why we prefer mercury as thermometric material is, mercury is first case is, mercury is possess low specific heat. That means very small change in heat or small change it, a small heat, small amount of heat it absorbs, it expands more. That means it has very small amount of heat is required to expand the mercury. So first case is low specific heat, and second one high thermal conductivity. High thermal conductivity means it from one end it takes heat, so it conducts that heat to all the mercury points, all the mercury in that thermometer. So high thermal conductivity. And third one, easily availability in pure form. Its availability in pure form. It is easily available in pure form. And fourth one, visible in narrow tube. Fifth one, does not stick to the glass. So based on these points, and expansion is uniform. Okay. Now these are the main reasons that we prefer mercury as thermometric material in liquid thermometers. Okay. So first one is low specific heat, high thermal conductivity, availability easily available in pure form, and it is visible in narrow tube. That means it is visible in the thermometer as in the glass tube, and does not stick to the glass, and expansion is uniform over wide range of temperatures. Based on these factors, mercury is preferred in thermometric material in liquid thermometers. Now, how a thermometer is made? Now, as we know, a thermometer consists of a thick-walled glass tube like this. It is a thermometer, a thick-walled glass tube having a fine bore and the length is about 30 to 40 centimeter. Thermometer is a long glass tube having thick walls and a fine bore at the middle, at the center like this. That means the cross-sectional view, suppose it is vertical like this, suppose if you view in this direction, the cross-sectional, it appears to be like this. This is the wall, thick wall with a small hole called bore, fine bore. A small hole inside it with a thick wall like this. So, and now the end of this, one end of this glass tube, it becomes thick, thin wall at the bottom. Okay, one end of this glass tube is blown in the form of thin-walled bulb, thin-walled cylindrical bulb B at the bottom, and at the top it is blown in the form of a bulb here B, and the other end is blown in the form of funnel, F. Okay? So, thermometer consists of a glass tube of length about 30 to 40 centimeter, which has a thick wall and a fine small hole at the center, fine bore. And this thick wall is blown in the form of thin wall at the bottom and made in the shape of funnel, blown in the form of funnel at the top. Now, mercury is taken in this funnel, like this. Now, mercury is taken in this funnel. Now, this mercury runs down through this fine bore into this bulb. But due to the presence of air in this bore, in the central part of this tube, it does not suck down easily. The mercury does not suck down into the easily. So, what we do is, we heat this particular thermometer. So, on heating, the air inside this bore expands and bubbles out through this funnel. Okay? On heating, the air in it expands and bubbles out through this funnel. Now, on cooling, when it bubbles out, again the thermometer is cooled. Cooling, what happens is the air in it contracts. That means some air has left from this funnel on heating. So, now some more mercury enters into this tube slowly. And again, the air resists the further falling of this mercury. And again heating, some more air bubbles out through this. And on cooling, some more mercury sucks down. That means in this way, alternatively heating and cooling, heating and cooling, heating and cooling this thermometer. So, total amount of mercury is introduced into this mercury. So, into this bulb. Now, finally, when it is heated such that total air in it expels out, and it is heated such that mercury vapors expel from this funnel. That means in that case the total tube is occupied by mercury. Now in that case it is again cooled. It is again cooled and sealed off here. And it is sealed here with a bulb like structure like this. So D. This bulb is D. Okay. Alternatively, heating and cooling, total mercury is introduced into the thermometer, and once total thermometer is filled with mercury, it is heated such that entire volume of this thermometer occupied by the mercury, and in that case we seal this mercury glass bulb at the top, and now we again cool it. So total mercury in this. Now again the inner tube is blown in the form of a circle like this, a bulb like this, D. So suppose by chance if we heat more than its specified upper limit, if we heat more, that means if the temperature is kept in a hot body so that the heat is more, the temperature is more than its specified temperature, so that mercury will collect in this spot bulb. So that if we does not provide this bulb here, the mercury, expanding mercury will break this glass. That's why to protect this from high temperatures, this bulb is provided. Okay. Now this particular thermometer is ready for measurement. It is not ready for measurement because we have to use thermometer. Now this thermometer is used to measure temperature. We have to take two quantities. Now this one is, first one is fixed points, and second one is division of interval. Okay. Now thermometer is prepared or made like this. Now this thermometer, to use temperature, we have to first requirement is fixed points and division of the interval. Now what is this fixed points and what is this division of interval? Now first fixed points, and these fixed points are taken as the melting ice and boiling water. So melting ice and boiling of water are taken as fixed points, and this melting of ice is taken as lower fixed point and boiling water is taken as upper fixed point. So LFP, UFP, lower fixed point and upper fixed point. That means the melting of ice is taken as lower fixed point, boiling of water is taken as upper fixed point. Now what is this division of interval? Now the difference between these two temperatures, these two divisions, interval, is divided into equal number of divisions. That means this point and this point, lower fixed point and upper fixed point, between the interval between these 2 points is divided into equal number of intervals. Then that particular thermometer can be used to measure temperature. Now how we can make this important? Now how we can mark these fixed points on thermometer? How to mark these fixed points? Now the thermometer is kept in ice. Suppose it is held like this, thermometer is held with a stand, and the bulb of this thermometer is dipped in a ice blocks, ice cubes or ice blocks in a vessel. It is dipped in ice pieces so that the mercury level in this thermometer falls down slowly, and after certain time it remains stationary. That means when we dip the bulb of the thermometer in ice, the mercury level slowly falls down, and after certain time, after obtaining a constant temperature, its level remains constant. That means there is no further fall. It remains stationary at a particular position. And that particular temperature, at a constant temperature, we take it as lower fixed point. Now, a scratch is made on that thermometer by diamond point pen. A scratch is made on that thermometer by diamond point pen at the meniscus of this mercury at that particular level. Okay, and that we take it as LFP. So a mark is made on that thermometer when the level of mercury remains constant when that particular thermometer is kept in ice. So that we take it as lower fixed point. Now it is removed from this ice and kept in hot water. Actually, to mark it, there is a special arrangement called hypsometer. So where this particular thermometer is kept in boiling water, actually not directly in boiling water. this hypsometer, and it contains a long tube like this B, long tube like this, and it contains an outer jacket C like this. This is the jacket C, and this bulb, this tube B, and in this tube B, the thermometer is kept in this tube B, and it is tightly fixed at this position by cork, so that no heat transfers. Now when this water is boiled here, what happens is steam is generated, and that steam is circulates over this total tube B, so that the temperature in this thermometer also rises. That means the level of mercury rises through this thermometer, and excess steam is this outlet is provided for the excess steam to go out. Now the temperature of this particular thermometer, means the mercury level of this thermometer slowly rises and reaches to a maximum. At a particular stage, it's further there it's becomes stationary, and that means there is no further rise in level of mercury. That means at that particular constant temperature, another scratch is made on the thermometer. So in this way, we fix or we mark lower fixed point and upper fixed point. That means first the thermometer is kept in ice, so the mercury level, when a scratch is made, when the mercury level of the thermometer remains stationary, and again it is taken from the ice and kept in boiling water by this special arrangement called hypsometer, apparatus called hypsometer. In that the mercury level rises, and after certain time the level remains stationary. At that particular state, another scratch is made by diamond point, and that is upper fixed point. In this way, the lower fixed point and upper fixed point on a thermometer are marked. Now the division of intervals. Now based on this division of intervals, so three commonly used thermometers are centigrade, Fahrenheit and Reamer. Okay. Now in centigrade, so for every thermometer, the lower fixed point is melting ice, upper fixed point is boiling of water. So based on the mark, suppose this is LF and this is upper fixed point. Now this interval is divided into equal intervals. That means the total interval between upper fixed point and lower fixed point is divided into equal divisions. So based on these equal divisions, we can make any thermometer of our own choice, but commonly used ones are the centigrade, Celsius, the Fahrenheit and the Reamer scale. Okay. Now first one is Celsius or centigrade. Second one, Fahrenheit. Third one, Reamer. These are the scales, and it is denoted by degree C, it is denoted by degree F, it is denoted by degree R. Centigrade, Fahrenheit and Reamer scales. Now what is the lower fixed point and upper fixed points in this, and what is the relation? Now in centigrade, the melting ice is taken as 0 degree, 0, and boiling of water is taken as 100. Now boiling water intervals. Now in centigrade, melting ice is taken as 0, boiling water as 100, and total interval is divided into 100 divisions. 100 equal number of divisions. And in Fahrenheit, actually Fahrenheit, the 0 is taken as freezing mixture of ice is taken as 0, but the melting ice is taken as 32, and the boiling water is taken as 212, and the total interval is divided into 180 equal divisions. And in case of Ramer scale, the melting ice is taken as 0 and boiling is taken as 80. Total interval is divided into 80 equal divisions. Okay? Centigrade, melting ice is 0, boiling water is 100, divisions are 100. And in Fahrenheit, melting ice is taken as 32, boiling water as 212. Total interval is divided into 180 equal divisions. In case of Ramer scale, melting ice is taken as 0, boiling water as 80, divisions are taken as 80 equal divisions. Now for any scale, to have a relation between these three, okay, to have a relation between these three, we can have this relation. How we can establish the relation between these three different scales. So, suppose if you take a thermometer like this, having lower fixed point at A, upper fixed point at B, like this. A thermometer with a lower fixed point at A marked as A, upper fixed point marked as B. Now the interval between this is called AB, is the interval of this particular temperature. Now if temperature, this particular thermometer is used to measure or kept in a hot water, for example, take it as is kept in hot water, so that the mercury in this thermometer level rises. So mercury level rises slowly. If the temperature of the body is certain, whatever is the temperature, let the level of mercury remains at this place, at C. Okay? Now we take a thermometer which is marked A as lower fixed point, B as upper fixed point, and is kept in a body, so that the body temperature, for the corresponding to the body temperature, the mercury level rises up to C. Okay. Now to measure this temperature, assume that the temperature at this is S. S is the temperature of the body. Assume that the value is S. Now how we can measure S? Because the temperature of this body, so we have to make the interval into equal intervals. That means the temperature is measured as AC by AB. Isn't it? This is the level of mercury by divided into total interval. That means it gives equal number of divisions. So AC by AB. That means for total interval we get AC. Okay, AC is the mercury level when it is kept in a body of temperature S. Then this is the total interval. That means AC by AB. Now based on this, we can give the relations like this. So how we can say is, what is AC? What is AB? Suppose AC for corresponding temperature, ACS is the temperature. That means it is a point S. Assume that this level is S. Okay. And this, what is A is lower fixed point. What is B? Upper fixed point. Now this is a mark S. What we are saying C point, but it is at a level S. That means here if we mark S like this, where the mercury level rises to S. Now what is AC means? The distance from this point to this point. That means we can write AC as S, that means this point, minus this point, minus lower fixed point. This interval is S minus SP. Now what is AB? Means interval between B to A. What is this B? This is upper fixed point, this is lower fixed point. So upper fixed point minus lower fixed point is AB. So we can write upper fixed point minus lower fixed. Okay, S is a level which represents the temperature of the body. Then the interval from S to A, that is S minus lower fixed point by upper fixed point minus lower fixed point, that this interval AB. So this remains a constant. This is constant. Based on this, we can convert from one scale to another scale. So okay, how we can convert? You see. Now what we can write it as? S minus LFP by UFP minus LFP is constant. So based on this we can. Now what is the, now I will write again here. For centigrade 0, 100. For Fahrenheit 32, 212. For Ramer scale 0, 80. Okay, these are the upper and lower fixed point for these three different scales. Now writing it. Now the temperature in a centigrade, assume that is C. So C minus LFP in centigrade is 0. So C minus 0 by upper fixed point in centigrade is 100. So 100 minus lower fixed point is 0. So you can write like this. Okay, this is for centigrade, and this equal to, for Fahrenheit, F minus lower fixed point is 32 by upper fixed point is 212 minus 32, and that is equal to Ramer scale R minus 0 by 80 minus 0. So in this way we can convert from one scale to another scale. So next step we can write it as C by 100 is equal to F minus 32 by 180, and that equal to R by 80. So with this relation we can convert from one scale of temperature to another scale of temperature. Okay, C by 100 equal to F minus 32 by 180, that equal to R by 80. So usually this centigrade is used in all scientific purpose, that means experiments, all the scientific measurements we use centigrade or Celsius scale. And this Fahrenheit scale is used commonly by doctors in India. So doctors in India use Fahrenheit temperature, and this Ramer scale is used in Russia and Germany, commonly used in Russia and Germany. But for all scientific purpose we use centigrade or scientific experiments. In every scientific purpose, we use centigrade or Celsius. And there is another scale called absolute scale of temperature, which is nothing but C, K. We can write here also it is K is equal to C plus 273. So Kelvin scale or absolute scale is nothing but adding 273 to our Celsius or centigrade scale of temperature. Okay, these are the conversions. Okay, what is thermometry means? Measurement of temperature. To measure the thermometers, to measure the temperature, we use the property of expansion of materials, and in which we prefer liquid thermometers, and in liquid thermometers also we prefer mercury for 5 basic reasons: its availability, its low specific heat, its high thermal conductivity, not sticking to the glass, and easily visible. Okay. Now, based using mercury, we have 3 different scales, and those 3 scales are related from one another by these relations. Okay.